The letter arrived on a Tuesday. Plain envelope. No return address. Just her name, Olivia, written in shaky, unfamiliar handwriting. She almost threw it away. It looked like junk mail, but something made her open it. Inside was a single sheet of paper and a key. Dear Olivia, I don't know if you'll remember me. We never met, but I knew your grandmother when she was young. She spoke of you often. She always said you would understand. I am the caretaker of a house that belongs to you. Your grandmother left it to you in her will. She asked me to wait until you were ready to see it. I think you're ready now. Come when you can. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Margaret. Olivia read the letter 3 times. She didn't know anyone named Margaret. She didn't know her grandmother owned any property. Her grandmother had died 2 years ago, leaving behind a small apartment and a lifetime of unanswered questions. But the key was old, brass, heavy. It felt like it had been waiting for her. She went. The house was at the end of a gravel road, isolated, surrounded by tall trees and an overgrown garden. It looked like something out of a fairy tale, the kind of house where secrets lived in the walls. Margaret was waiting on the porch. She was old, older than Olivia expected, with kind eyes. This was her favorite one. She let Olivia inside. The house was dusty, but not abandoned. Furniture was covered in white sheets. Photographs lined the walls. Olivia stopped at one, a young woman with dark hair and a bright smile, standing next to a man she didn't recognize. Who is this? She asked. Margaret's expression softened. That's your grandmother, Clara, and her husband, the love of her life. Olivia frowned. That's not my grandfather. My grandmother was married to William. I have photographs of him. He looked nothing like this man. Margaret was silent for a long moment. Sit down, dear, she said. I think you need to hear the truth. Olivia sat in the dusty parlor. Margaret sat across from her, hands folded in her lap. Your grandmother was married twice, Margaret began. But not in the way you think. Olivia's heart quickened. What do you mean? Your grandmother's first love was a man named Thomas. They met when she was 18. He was a painter. He traveled the world, capturing images of places most people would never see. Clara fell in love with him the first time she saw his work. She didn't believe in love at first sight until she met him. What happened? Thomas loved her. He loved her more than anything. He asked her to marry him. She said yes. They were married for 3 years. They lived in this house. They were happy. Olivia looked around. She could almost see it, the house full of life, full of love. Then the war happened, Margaret continued. Thomas was drafted. He won a fight. Clara waited. She wrote him every day. He wrote her every day. But then the letters stopped. Did he die? Margaret shook her head. He was captured. A prisoner of war. He was gone for 2 years. Clara waited. She never gave up hope. But when Thomas came back, he wasn't the same. He was broken. He couldn't paint. He couldn't talk. He couldn't love her the way he used to. Olivia felt her throat tighten. What did she do? She tried to help him. She tried everything. But the war had taken something from him that she couldn't give back. And one day, Thomas left. He just walked out the door and never came back. Olivia's voice was barely a whisper. She never saw him again? She did. But that's another story. After Thomas left, Clara was devastated. She thought she would never love again. Then she met William. My grandfather. Yes. He was kind. Steady. He made her feel safe. He didn't have Thomas's passion, but he had something just as important, a commitment to stay. Clara married him. They had children. They built a life. She never spoke of Thomas again. Olivia felt the weight of the story. Then why did she keep this house? Why did she leave it to me? Margaret smiled sadly. Because she never stopped loving him. And because she had a secret she never told anyone. Margaret handed Olivia a worn leather journal. It was old. The pages yellowed, the binding cracked. This is her diary, Margaret said. She started writing it when she was 18. She never stopped. Even after she married William, she wrote about Thomas. Not because she wanted to leave William, but because her love for Thomas was part of her. She couldn't cut it out. Olivia opened the diary. The first entry was dated 50 years ago. Today I met him. I was walking home from the market, and he was painting the sunset by the river. He looked up, and I forgot how to breathe. He said, "You look like you belong in a painting." I laughed. He laughed. And I knew, right then, that I was lost. She turned the page. He kissed me today.
under the willow tree, where the branches dip into the water. He said he's never loved anyone before. I believe him. I think I've never loved anyone before either. At least, not like this. She read entry after entry. The story of a love that was young and fierce and impossible. Thomas painting her portrait. Thomas carving her name into a tree. Thomas promising her forever, even though they both knew forever was a gamble. Then the war. The letters. The waiting. The silence. Then Thomas's return. The broken man. The empty eyes. The night he walked out the door. She found the entry he left. He's gone. I don't know where. I don't know if he'll come back. I don't know if I want him to. Because the man who walked out wasn't the man I married. And if he never came back, it might be easier than pretending. Olivia wiped her eyes. She felt like she was intruding on something sacred. But she couldn't stop reading. She read about Clara meeting William. About the wedding, the children, the life they built. About the years that passed, the laughter, the tears, the slow accumulation of memories. But she also read about Thomas. Clara never stopped thinking about him. She saw him in sunsets, in paintings, in the way her granddaughter laughed. She wondered if he ever thought about her. If he ever came back to the house. If he ever found the note she'd hidden in the bedroom. The one she wrote the night he left. Come back to me. Not the man you used to be. Just you. Whoever you are now. I'll still love you. I'll always love you. Just come back. Olivia finished the diary in one night. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't stop thinking about her grandmother, the woman she'd known only as a quiet, gentle presence who made pies and knitted sweaters. The woman who had carried a secret love for 50 years. She walked through the house. Every room held a memory. The kitchen where Clara used to bake. The bedroom where she slept. The study where she wrote her diary. And then she found it. A small door, hidden behind a bookshelf. She almost missed it. She opened it. Inside was a narrow staircase. It led down to the basement. The basement was empty, except for one thing. A painting. It was a portrait. A woman with dark hair and bright eyes, laughing at something the painter couldn't see. She was beautiful, vibrant, alive. Olivia recognized her grandmother. But the painter's name was in the corner. Thomas. Dated the year before the war. She looked at the back of the painting. There was a note, written in her grandmother's handwriting. I found this hidden in the attic. He painted it the night before he left. I don't know why he hid it. Maybe he was afraid. Maybe he was ashamed. Maybe he wanted me to find it, but not too soon. I've been looking at it for 50 years. It's the only thing I have left of him, and it's the only thing I want. Olivia sat on the basement floor. She looked at the painting. She thought about her grandmother. She thought about the choices she made, the sacrifices, the love that never died. She thought about her own life, her own fears, her own inability to trust that love could last. And she made a decision. She went back to the house the next weekend. This time, she brought her boyfriend, Alex. He was confused. She hadn't told him why she was going. She just asked him to trust her. They walked through the garden, the overgrown paths, the wild roses that had taken over. She told him about Clara and Thomas, about the war, about the painting. I don't understand, Alex said. You barely knew your grandmother. Why does this matter so much? Olivia looked at him, at his kind eyes, his steady hands, his patience. Because she showed me that love doesn't have to end when someone leaves, she said. It can change. It can transform. But it doesn't have to die. He looked at her, waiting for more. I've been afraid of loving you, she said. I've been afraid of letting myself need someone. Because I thought if you left, I would die. Or worse, I'd become like her, a woman who loved a ghost and never let herself love again. You're not her, he said. I know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I used to think love was about holding on. But it's not. It's about letting go. It's about letting someone be who they are, even if that means they leave. And if they stay, it's because they choose to. Alex pulled her close. I'm not going anywhere. I know, she said. But if you did, I would be okay. Because I know I was loved. And that's enough. Olivia went home that night. She found the diary in her bag. She'd taken it with her, unable to leave it behind. She opened it to the last entry, dated the year before her grandmother died. I've been thinking about Thomas lately, more than usual. I think because the end is near. I can feel it, and I want to see him again. Not in the way I used to. Not with the desperation of youth. Just to say thank you. For loving me when I was young. For teaching me what it means to be seen. For giving me memories I could hold on to when everything else fell apart. I know he's gone. I know I'll never see him again, but I also know that he's still with me. In the way I see color, in the way I look at the sky, in the way I love my family. I used to think love was about possession, that if you loved someone, you had to keep them. But I learned differently. I learned that love is about setting someone free, not because you don't want them, but because you want them to be who they were always meant to be. I let Thomas go, and then I found William, and I loved them both, in different ways, for different reasons, and neither love was a betrayal of the other. They were just different. I hope Olivia understands that. I hope she doesn't think I was weak. I hope she sees that I was strong, that I chose to love, even when it hurt, that I chose to live, even when I was broken. I'm not afraid to die. I've loved deeply. I've been loved deeply. That's all anyone can ask for. And if there's something after this, I hope I get to see Thomas again. And I hope he still paints. Olivia returned the diary to the house. She left it on the desk in the study. She felt like that's where it belonged. She took the painting with her. She hung it in her living room, not as a shrine to her grandmother's loss, but as a reminder that love doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be permanent. It just has to be real. She visits the house sometimes. It's hers now. She's cleaning it up, slowly, painting the walls, planting new flowers in the garden. It feels like a way of honoring her grandmother, of making something beautiful out of the past. Alex helps her. He doesn't fully understand, but he doesn't need to. He just shows up, with paintbrushes and coffee and the kind of steady patience her grandmother would have appreciated. One day, Olivia found another hidden door, this time in the attic. Behind it, a stack of letters, all addressed to Clara, all from Thomas, dated after the war, after he left. She opened the first one. Dear Clara, I know you won't get this. I know you've probably moved on. I hope you have. I hope you're happy. But I need you to know something. I didn't leave because I stopped loving you. I left because I was broken, and I couldn't bear the thought of you seeing me like that. I couldn't bear the thought of you loving a man who wasn't who he used to be. I've been traveling, trying to find myself. I don't know if I ever will, but I think about you every day. I painted your portrait the night before I left. I hid it in the basement. I don't know why. Maybe because I wanted you to find it. Maybe because I needed to leave something behind. I love you, Clara. I always will. Even if I'm not the man you remember, I love you. Thomas. She read the entire stack. Over 100 letters. All unsent. All hidden in the attic. Thomas never stopped loving Clara. He never stopped writing to her. He just never had the courage to send the letters. He died alone, in a small town on the other side of the country. He never remarried. He never stopped painting. Olivia sat on the attic floor, surrounded by letters, surrounded by a love that had survived decades of silence. She thought about her grandmother, about the choices she made, about the life she built, about the secret she carried. And she understood. Love doesn't always get a happy ending. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's a series of wrong turns and missed opportunities. But that doesn't make it any less real. That doesn't make it. Alex waited for her at the end of the aisle. He was crying. He always cried at weddings. You made a mess of my makeup, she said, laughing. I'll make it up to you, he said. Promise. Promise. They exchanged vows. Not the traditional ones. They wrote their own. Olivia's were simple. I used to be afraid of love, she said. I used to think it was something you could lose. Something that could be taken from you. But I learned that love isn't a possession. It's a choice. It's a choice you make every day. And I choose you. I will always choose you. Alex held her hands. I choose you too. And I'll keep choosing you. Every day. For the rest of my life. They kissed. The garden erupted in applause. And for a moment, Olivia felt something warm beside her. A presence. A touch on her shoulder. A whisper of love that didn't need words. She smiled. She knew it was her grandmother. She knew she was okay. Years passed. Olivia and Alex had children. A daughter named Clara. A son named Thomas. They visit the house every summer. The garden is now a riot of color. The walls are freshly painted. The rooms are full of laughter. Olivia tells her children about their great-grandmother, about the love she carried, about the courage she had to keep living, even when her heart was broken. She tells them about the letters, about the painting, about the diary. She tells them the truth. That love isn't perfect. It isn't always fair, but it's always worth it. Because even when it ends, even when the person you love is gone, the love itself remains. And that is enough. That is more than enough. That is everything.